Good morning, good day, good evening to each and every one of you. This is YieldMaxMindset. I am back. I was absent for a week. It was more spiritual, but I did have some family emergency to come up with my mother. She failed, and so I had to get her to the emergency room and was there the next day as well. So having some problems with that. Y'all keep her in your prayers. But other than that, I wasn't on vacation. It was more of a spiritual getaway from the internet, so to speak. Um, Not of my doing, but it had to be done. So we're back. So this is going to be I guess you can say, Robinhood portfolio review of week 39 and week 40 combined. So I guess it's technically 1 week, but I'm going to label it 39 and 40. Okay. All right. So in this video, we're going to be reviewing our Robinhood portfolio, and we'll review every position that we got since it's been a while, right? And we'll go over our um, dividend short PowerPoint of the dividends that I got last week that I wasn't here to show you all. We'll hit our Excel spreadsheet, and then we will visit. Well, we may hit Charles Schwab before we do the Excel spreadsheet. Then we'll do snowball analysis, and then we'll do Q&A, and we'll probably hit crypto. All right, so let's get to it. Called is It is late. It is 3:11 Central. No, it's 11. It's 2:11 Central Standard Time, and it is 3:11 Eastern Standard Time. All right, so let's get to it. As you can see, so just for clarification, when I posted that I would not be posting any videos this past week, so from that time, other than Monday or Tuesday, I had not looked at any of my portfolios. I have not looked at my Robinhood portfolio, um, snowball analysis. I haven't touched my YouTube channel. I hadn't touched anything stock dividend related until this evening at 10 o'clock, or tonight at 10 o'clock. So I'm seeing all this sort of fresh for the first time and shaking the rust off. So we will get to it. So everything that you're seeing, I'm seeing for the first time too, other than this screen here. I see it before before I actually did the video. All right. All right. So here we go. So as you can see, let's take a look at the past week. You know, uh, let's get back here. So we're showing 56,394 live. We're up $55.97. For the day, we're up $1,380. For the week, we're up $1,712. That's nice to know. For the past month, we're up $11,021. For the past 3 months, we're up $14,516. Year to date, we're down $1,036. The past year, we're up $21,153. And all time, we're up $14,317. All right, let's get back to this week here. All right, so I wasn't here to see any of this, and I was just hoping my account survived like it did. This is probably when we got our dividend payout. It probably went down about $4,500, and looked like when I got the dividend payout, it made a recovery. All right, so like folks, for most of the past month, we've been sort of trading sideways here. All right, let's take a look at our buying power here. All right, so we see here I have $53,649 in buying power. Total margin available is 110,000. $520. I think that's the most I've seen. And that's mainly probably because of the values of my position have gone up. So my total margin used right now stands at $56,869. We have a small position probably on XPay that's going to reinvest this 43 cents. All right. Our buffer. Our buffer stands at $13,193, 24.32%. Our interest rate is at 5.5%. All right. So if you're using gold and you're using margin, the first $1,000 is free. Doesn't charge you one penny other than you paying the $5 a month for gold membership. But interest on the first $1,000 is free. So if you want to borrow some money and don't have to pay interest, boom, there you go. As if you're using margin. If you're not using margin, I'm not telling you to go do that, okay? All right, so with that 13,000, if I were to make a withdrawal from my Robinhood account, as you can see here, I have $13,558 available to withdraw. All right, so let's get back to our portfolio. First we got up is Coney. Coney right now stands at $8.03. All right, we have a market value of $64,240. We are down $30,668. Our average cost is $11.86 for 8,000 shares. Misty currently stands at $20.93. Market value is at $15,722. We're down just over $4,600. Average cost is $27.12. We have 751 shares. We would love to get that down, but because this is at 70%, we're not going to use our buying power. As you can see, I got $52,000 in buying power, but because this is at 70%, if I used of that 70%, it would basically, I would only be able to use $19,469, and that would literally take up all that 50 or 53,000 because of this 70% ratio here. So that's why I haven't bought any yet. But I'm missing out on the opportunity to bring down my average cost. I don't like that. But anyway, we got a cash account in Charles Schwab, so that's the alternative. All right, so this is Alti. Alti currently stands at $6.22. Our market value is over $2,400. We're down over $1,100. Average cost is $9.12 for 400 shares. AMDY stands at $7.50. Our market value is over $2,500. We're down over $2,600. Average cost is $15.14 for 340 shares. All right, next we have Platy. Platy stands at $64.25. I like that. Market value is at $13,813. We're down $494. Our average cost is $66.55 for 215 shares. All right. Next we have Palantir. Currently stands at $127.68. Our market value is over $7,000. Our total return is a positive $659. Our average cost is $115.68 for 55 shares. All right, next we have Tesla. Currently stands at $8.07. We're market value is over $1,400. We're down $658. Our average cost is $11.73 for 180 shares. Next, we got SMCY, currently $18.65. Our market value is over $2,600, and we're down just shy of $1,000. Average cost is $25.78 for 140 shares. All right. Next we have YBIT. Currently stands at $10.54. Our market value is just over $650. We're down $222. Average cost is $14.13 for 62 shares. Next we have Round Hill YBTC, currently at $45.57. Our market value is $45.93. We're currently down almost $2. Average cost is $47.54, and we have one share. All right. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So YieldMax, currently $13.65. We have over $682 in market value. We're down just shy $100 almost. Average cost is at $15.59 for 50 shares. All right. AIYY stands at $4.48. Our market value is $58.24. We're down $93.62 for average cost of $11.68 for 13 shares. All right, our last position here is XPay around Hill. Sits at $53.41. We have a market value of just over $555. We're down $25. Average cost is $55.87 for 10 shares. All right. Next, let's see here. Let's go over the dividends. Let's hit that for you. What I got last week. I know a lot of you all probably got paid if you possess these. All right. All right, so SMCY. Now this information is going to be current. This is going to be with the close market Friday, but I'm not really here for that, but you can see that. All right, so basically just to let you know what I got here. All right, so I got 155 shares at $157.95, gave me $244.82. All right, AIYY, 13 shares, gave me $4.17. Misty, I have 762 shares. This is going to include my Robinhood and my Charles Schwab account. I have $1,125.34. YieldMax, we have 50 shares for $8.61. OT, we have 405 shares for $38.27. And I believe this is the last one, YBTC. We have one share for 43 cents. Yep, that concludes that. So we are done with that. All right, so next we have our Excel spread. Tell you what, let's hit the Charles Schwab account right quick, right? All right, so in Charles Schwab here, this is going to be for the last, I said it's the last 6 months. We want to do for the last month. Let's do the previous month, right? What we want to do for the current month. Yeah. So this is the end of May. For those that are interested, that's what I got. But let's do the current month. Current, or what is it? Yes, current month. There we go. All right. So we can see here that I deposited $100.04. SMCY, we got $23.69. And this was included in the PowerPoint, but I just want to show you what I got in the Charles Schwab account. So Ulti and then Misty. All right. Here's my position, cash account. Like I said, I did deposit $100 here. So my total cash here and dividend from last week, it stands at $211.45. We're going to probably reinvest this tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm leaning towards putting this in Coney. That's what I'm thinking about doing. If not, then my choice is going to be take the one that has a position that's lower than my cost per share average, like Misty. It's $20. That would be an option. Pleiades will be an option, probably about 9 in the morning though. Yes, and Coney would be an option. Um, I think it's at $8.03 right now in the aftermarket. I mean the pre-market, overnight market. So that may not be an option. But anyway, anything that's below my average cost or just shy above it, we'll probably invest that and get this cash account circulating. Oh, so one thing I had mentioned about if you all happen to have watched maybe week 38 or week 37 portfolio, I had mentioned that I was going to perhaps get about $25,000 in deposit into this account. Well, it turns out that's not going to happen. So, I will not be depositing $25,000 in this account. We're going to be waiting to get our tax return. I have about $2,600 on the tax return I'm waiting to get. I will be putting that in here and reinvesting the dividends. So that's where we stand with that. So we had to scrap that. So let's get our Excel spreadsheet. All right, if I didn't make any mistakes, this is where we stand. All right, so our total active income, let's hit the end of May just in case, because I'm not sure where I left off. So the end of May, we concluded with active income with $3,777.71. For the end of May, for the total month of May in dividends, we earned $14,130.22. The prior week, the week before we got this amount was at $7,991.10. All right, so now we are in the month of June, and we've gotten our first check in the month of June, which is over $1,900. And we got our dividends last week for Group D that total over $1,376.89. So our total active income from my employer is $24,292.50. And then you can see we taken our tithes out of it. You can see that's over $2,400. All right. So our total dividend passive income for the past 5 months, starting this 6th month, stands at $39,862.02. So my combined passive and active income stands beginning month June 6th month stands at $64,154.52. My average active income stands at over $4,400 a month. My passive income stands at an average of 66 I'm averaging 66 for yeah, it's late, y'all. I'm a little sleepy. All right. So I'm averaging 66.43 over the past 6 months now. All right, so let's take a look at our margin. Now, our margin, let's see here. Our margin the prior balance margin was at $64,066. Our Robinhood margin stands currently at $56,869. So when we got our Coney and we got our Misty, which was Group C and Group D, brought us down from 64,000 to 56,000. All right. So that's basically half a month's pay, basically a whole month, if you want to count yeah. So anyway. All right. So this consists of credit cards, loans, payment, HELOC, what else? Yeah. Those are the interest rates, which are crazy. And these are the interest year to date, which stands at over 12,000. So I'm averaging about over 2,400 in interest a month. That's crazy. All right, so Robinhood Gold stands at $25 to date. Our interest for we're actually going to be for the past 5 months, because I don't think the interest has been charged yet for the month of June. So right now, if I'm not mistaken, we're acquired or have been charged $1,330 for this over a period of 6 months. This is fluctuated from 34,000, 38,000, 67,000, 55, but whatever that amount was when they charged me, it is amounted to this amount here, which averages, this should say 6 months now. All right, so we're averaging, let's change that. All right, so we're averaging about $2,200.21, as if I got this correct. This did increase, so I think that is correct. I think we're at 6 months, so I may have gotten charged that. All right, if not, don't hold it against me. All right, so our total debt stands at $263,100.52. All right, so being that I didn't post a video at the end of May, this was the total debt I had, $270,553.04. So I left that. As you can see, most of these is generally I updated by the first or by the second, but I wanted to show where I stood with that debt since I didn't post a video. So now this is where we were at January the 1st at $264,654,000, but now we're currently at $263,100 because we paid some bills, right? All right. So our Robinhood deposit year to date, we haven't deposited anything since the month of March. The month of February. And withdrawal from our Robinhood account, we haven't withdrew anything since the month of February as well. Now, potentially this week, we might be withdrawing some money from a Robinhood account, and this is probably going to be an ongoing thing. I was hoping to go 6 months and not make a withdrawal, and then start with July and making the withdrawals. But the way things are looking financially, I may have to make a withdrawal. And if so, I want to probably start with maybe about $2,500. And some of that will be going to paying these bills directly. Maybe 500 I will probably put in the bank for just cash, to have some cash on hand. Because when I say your brother is broke, he is broke. I think I got $200 in my checkings, maybe $100 in my savings. So yeah. So we've been squeezing money from other accounts. I did have a couple $100 in some other checkings account. I forgot. And I said, "Oh, look at there. God is good. I forgot I had the money there." So I've been using it the last couple of weeks. But we're going to have to start to paying down this debt. So yeah. So you may start to see me for here the remainder of the year start to make some withdrawals. If going back to Robinhood here, let's go back to Robinhood. If this buffer is in a range to where I can make a withdrawal, if it goes, it look like when it gets to 7K, then this starts to change color. Let me know, hey, you are probably nearing margin. You know, you have to get down to almost under 2K to almost under 1,000 to really get margin call, but it starts to give you those warnings and alerts, let you know, hey, you're getting, just bringing it to your attention, right? All right, so if I got this correctly, since I've been investing in Coney, well, this is the amount that I have invested in Coney. It could be off a little bit. $95,136. I think it's a little bit more than that. So this $42,313.33. That is the amount of dividends that I've received since I've been investing in Coney. And this negative 52,823, that is the amount remaining before I break even. All right. Same thing here with Misty. I calculate that Misty, um, well, this is the amount that I've got invested in Misty, right? Give or take a few change or whatever. This 18,553 is the total amount of dividends that I've acquired since I've been investing in Misty, which is a shorter time period than Coney. So I am $1,800 away from breaking even and having house money on Misty. All right. So those are my two biggest positions in my investment journey. So that's where we stand. All right. So next, let's hit what we got here. Oh, crypto. Let's take a look at the crypto market. It's been a while. Let's hit refresh here. See where we stand. All right. So according to Coin Market Cap, Bitcoin is at 105K. Ethereum is almost $2,500. All right, let's look at my account. All right, so my crypto account on crypto.com is at $41,394. All right, let's see. Take a look at my position, my biggest position. Well, we ain't gonna look at the others. As you can see, this is what I own. Small amounts, not a lot. Shiba, Doge, and Chronos is my biggest position. The rest of them are just small amounts. All right. So let's look at my biggest position in cryptocurrency. As you can see, I have 295,092 Crow coins. All right. Stands at $29,538. You can see my unrealized profit is at $5,960. And apparently I've at some point in time moved or sold some. I think I've transferred some to Ethereum or something. But anyway, that's where we stand. All right. Um, I haven't checked for any updates, but for those that are maybe watching this video and you're saying, okay, if I had 5,000, I'm just to pause it because I hear a train coming. All right, that was a nice little break there. All right, so as I was saying, so I've been away. When I say I haven't looked at anything financial regarding investments, I am a week behind in the dark. So I don't know if she's made any updates to this website, but this is YouTube. The YouTube channel is Bad Financial Decisions. She created this website. So those of you that want to make a contribution to her website, you can buy her a coffee or buy her a sandwich. She does a lot of hard work creating this for us, and it's very useful. So if you happen to be investing $5,000 and you happen to have YieldMax selected, I have it? Yeah, I just randomly had it selected. This is what you can expect to get weekly, monthly, and annually if you looked at these positions. So it's a nice tool to sort of give you some guidance on what you might um, expect to get. Then you can hit details. You can change these prices, and then if you click this, it will take you actually to the ETF website. So check it out. And then she got advanced mode here. All right. All right. Let's see here. What we headed to. We are all right. So this is our old website. We will not be renewing this website. I don't think as of now, because I think I like snowball analysis, but we're gonna just skim over it right quickly before it's no longer available. All right, so it's saying that our Robinhood brokerage account, that our annual dividend forecasting to be just over $111,000. We have 13 holdings, saying that we have $154,000 invested. This is the cash. This is basically the margin amount here. All right. It shows my 8,000 shares at, I don't, I'm not sure why that's saying, I think that's the dividend amount. I'm sorry, that's the dividend amount here times that. So that's the annual dividend, because I think if we go to, do we have that website pulled up? Yeah, stock analysis. And let's put in Coney hypothetically, right? See if that's what it's saying. No, it's saying $12.40. So that's not it. That's what I was thinking it was, but that's not it. All right. So 12-month total. And then I think this is forecasting, because this is where we stand right now in June. And those the light green is what's been declared, and the dark charcoal looking one is what's estimated to be. All right, so it says if you invested this amount here at your portfolio current yield, you'll reach your goal, which is $1 million. All right, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it, right? Uh, 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 uh. So this is what this site looks like. There's a dividend calendar. And this is called Divi Tracker for those that might be interested in this. Shows your calendar there. Right? Monthly average is at it has me averaging about $8,800 a month. 16-month total would be 114,000. As you can see in May, right at 15,000. That's what the estimate, but I actually was 14. So, all right. All right, so let's get to snowball analysis. All right. So I think this was got my my Robinhood and my Charles Schwab account combined. I think we finally figured it out. I think, if I'm not mistaken, or is this just Robinhood? It's just Robinhood. All right, so let's just skip that. How about that? All right, y'all want me to skip it? Okay, all right. You want to know what this is? All right, so this is saying if I wanted a annual salary of dividends um, for $1 million, that it, based on the way it's tracking me now, is letting me know that this is achievable in 4 years by 2029 at the current pace I'm going at. So that's my portfolio in the blue, and that's the safe scenario there. All right. All right. So let's just get rid of that. All right. So now there's net worth. So that's got both of them combined. All right. So here, it's saying my next 12 months, it's saying that I'm on pace to average 104,000 for the year, of an average monthly income of over $8,600. All right. So it's estimated in August we will probably get about 10K, but it currently has me averaging about $8,600. All right, so this is what we've gotten paid out for the month of January. For those that said, well, he said he got it over there in that Excel sheet, but this right here sort of puts me in those range of the numbers. All right, that's 7.9K for February. This is going to be March, which is 5.4K. Then we had a nice drop in April, which wasn't a good month. So it was 46. And then we had a nice rebound here with 14,000 in the month of May. Now it's showing that Coney only produced, well, that's right. Coney produced about 90, I guess about $9,800. Then everything else forced it up to 14K. All right, cool. All right, so let's check these out. 2023, this, oops, 2023. There we go. Thank you. All right, so 23, this is what was averaging. As you can see, that's 24 cents, 18 cents, I'm not sure what it was I had at that point in time, but that's what it was. All right, let's go 2024. All right, you can see still wasn't doing much. In February of 2024, $94.53. And we began to do a little something there. 2,200 in March, 2,400 in April, May. And then we said, I think this was like REITs and different things I was in. And then I did have a small position, I think, in Coney around here, but it was only giving me like $100 a month. And then we got that $26,800 and we deposited here in August, and we got paid in September $4,100. Then October 74, November 10K, and I just thought, man, going to next year, boy, we just to hit. Cause I'm like, man, I'm hitting this 10K here. So I'm like, man, 2025, man, we just to hit this 10 to 15K per month. Nah, that didn't happen. 63, 79, March was 54, April 46, and then May. Because back then, May was projected to be like 22,000. So we didn't get that. All right. All right. So let's take a look at this. All right. So we got this sorted by dividends, look like. Dividends received, total dividends received after taxes. I don't think it's not after taxes. This is before taxes. I don't. All right. All right. So Coney, a big position, 8,032 shares. Our cost per share is $11.86. That's when you combine Charles Schwab and Robinhood. Robinhood is just $11.86. So our current value is 63,452, and amount we got invested is 95,136. This is the expense ratio. Total dividends received in Coney is 42,313 and 33 cents. That matches this, right? It's 43 or 42. Did I get it wrong? Yeah, that's right. 42. All right. So we're down $31,684. We had some profit and realized profit and loss in the positive when we sold some Coney at one point in time. All right, so calling this, we're in total profit when you look at the total dividends received, 42,000, and the negative 31,000 in capital gain. When you subtract the 31 from the 42, and you add the 13 and subtract the fee there, you're left with $12,000 in total profit. That's how they look at it. It says the total profit includes the difference between the purchase price and the current one. Dividends received, profit from sales. All right. So, all right, next we got Misty, $20,000 invested. Current value is at 15. Total dividends received is 17. It hasn't updated what I got paid last week in Misty. It should be 18. But anyway, here we saying that we're in total profit here with Misty, 17,000 in dividends. Realized profit and loss of positive 1,600, and subtract the capital, negative capital, leave us with $14,106 in total profit. All right, so another month of Misty, depending on how much it pay out, we may be breaking even playing with house money. AMD, I haven't been following my AMD position, but we have $2,700 invested, right? Current value is at 2,500. Total dividends received is at 3,300. So we are in total profit with AMD. Pretty much playing with house money because we've gotten back more dividends than we actually invested. So that is nice. Tesla look like we're in a similar position. We got invested $2,100 and we've got total dividends return 20 over almost $2,600. So we're in profit with Tesla as well. SMCY, we got $3,600, excuse me, $3,800 invested. Total dividends received is $2,100. We're in total profit because we're not down that much in that account. So that's total profit. Look like we got some profit in Palantir. All right, so no, that's Platy. I'm sorry. So we got over $14,000 invested there. So we're sitting in profit. All right, so let's just get to the total here, right? That's what everybody wants to see. All right, so total invested, as we saw earlier, $154. Yeah, $154,000, right? Current value stands at $113,000. So we're down $40,000 in our account. But our total dividends received is saying $68,668. Calling this, we're in total profit. When you say the 68,000 minus the 40,000 plus the realized profit, we are in profit of $28,549. All right. All right, let's get to the Q&A. All right. So since we didn't do week 38, I don't think we did the video on it. I think so. We're gonna answer these questions. Yeah, 9 days ago. So, yeah. So this is within, right. All right. So Cara Ruth Dennis. Dennis says, oh, this is my Midwest brother. Okay. He said, how's everything going with you? I'm starting to get some overtime so I can catch up with you on those ETFs and purchases. He said I would start buying some Coney, Nvidia, and some Tesla, Misty, and a little position on IMRA. Thank you for your content. I think it was him that put me on this one. IMRA, and I believe he mentioned IMST, and maybe NVII. So those paid out nice dividends. Let's take a quite quick look at that one, right? Just for y'all who may be curious. This is by Bitwise. So let's see here. So inception was April the 1st. So you got April, May. So it should be getting ready to pay a June payment. Well, I'm assuming. When did they pay their dividends? May the 23rd. So no, a dividend. Wow, $9.33. Wow. All right, so their next dividend payment should be if they're paying monthly, it should be around June the 23rd or something like that. Near that, give or take a day or two. So that was nice. And it's made a recovery from the 42-week low. Chart ain't showing up here. Hit the refresh button. There we go. All right, so year to date. So that's inception. All right. So I'm gonna keep my eye on that one. That's a very nice one. I believe that's what he was pointing out. All right. Excuse me. I said my Midwest brother, I'm happy to hear that you're getting overtime, especially with all these layoffs and things that I'm hearing. I said that is good that you're getting overtime. Now, overtime now you gonna have to have me trying to pick up a second job so I can stay ahead of you. Laughing out loud, I was saying. I said I appreciate you putting me on IMRA and I missed. Will keep my eye on them when I get some spare change, and I'll probably purchase some in my cash account. And I need to remember that because I was saying I was gonna I was gonna buy some Coney. So I gotta remember this tomorrow. I'll probably forget because I'll be so sleepy when I wake up. It'll probably be almost noon by the time I wake up. All right. Ms. Robinson said, I never buy stock on credit. That's a credit card right there. Of course, I have a monthly budget and I stay within my means. I said that's a good and smart strategy. Hopefully those are Hopefully those that are new to investment can glean from your knowledge and discipline. She goes on to say, this video is more than less hilarious on Romeo. Is that right? And I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. You would you date a man with $279,000 in a margin loan? She said no. I said people should never be materialistic. Making your dollar stretch is the best method. I let her know, or I mentioned that I had a 9100 Accord with over 500,000 miles that I drove since college, all the way up into 2015. When it finally quit on me, then I bought a Honda, a 94 Honda for $1,100. I drove all the way to Tampa, Florida with my father, and we got that car. Actually, the car was $1,300, but when we got there, he said, "Nope, I can't take it. I can't take it." He said, "Y'all seem like some good people. I'll take $1,100 for it." And he said, "Y'all get y'all a room, get some sleep." All right, so I said until it was total out, and then I bought me a 2008 Acura TL for $9,500 in 2018. So I said you gotta make your money stretch and try not to keep up with the Joneses, as you stated. I said now the 279,000 was not spent on material things; it was spent on making investment to create generational wealth for my family, who I've always been below the poverty line. So I'm hoping to buy my mom a house and get her out of the house that snakes keeps coming in during the summer. So that's why I'm investing this money to get her in a new home and create financial literacy LLC someday in the future that would help other people understand how money works. I actually have one now, but it's dormant right now. Um, she also said, she said, you are buying on credit? How is this helping your family? And what type of example are you setting? Sorry, but you need to get out of debt and stay out of debt. Simple. I recommend that you start an emergency cash fund with your bank. That I do. I need to do that. Pay off your margin loans and stop buying stocks on credit. Good financial advice, Miss Robinson. All right. Hemp says, can you still get $1,000 in margin on Robinhood if you only have $5? Wait a minute. Can you still get the $1,000 in margin on Robinhood if you only have $5 payment for gold in the account? Or do you still, yes, you need the gold membership and you need to have at least 5,000. Oh, yeah, I get that's what I was saying in the comments. I hope that's what I was saying. All right, my good friend here said, thing is, you could buy 2 shares of Misty for the price of one Platy. Better to go by the percentage of distribution. I said, yes, sir. Plus, when Misty goes up, you get appreciation in value. Let's see here. He says, thanks for the update. Greetings from Europe. That's my Europe friend. All right. What's up, Doc? I said, thanks for dropping in. Stay tuned. All right. Pat said, at YieldMaxMindset, hey, how is it going? Just to remind everyone that buying option has a more scary thing than NAV erosion, and it's called theta decay. And every single day, the value of options that are bought will lose value. He said, while selling option has positive theta decay, meaning it's good thing that the option goes down in value for your gain. Selling in the money calls are honest the best way to go with these ETFs. Imagine how much cash you could save by selling the money calls on the shares and keep up the good work. Someday when I learn how to do options, Pat, I'll get my toes wet and try some of that stuff out. All right. Dwayne said, like always, great video. You do you see Coney paying over $1 dividend again? Can you please send us a copy of the Excel file that you are using? I said, yes, I do believe Coney will eventually pay over $1 again. With Coney being added to the, I should have said Cohen been added to the S&P 500. Crypto still hasn't made it bull run yet. I said, I will look into the Excel thing. You talk about, I'm assuming, the one, so that Excel sheet, it's not, it's, it's got some small formulas in there, but most of it is manually. I manually key it and do it. So it's not something that if I sent you, you would be able to use it. And I ain't even got that far yet to seeing how you can set up. It's not a Google sheet or anything like that. It's an Excel sheet. So I'm not sure how I would even set it up to send it to someone unless you email me and I would attach it and send it to you. He said, thanks. Lonnie said, I just started putting money into Coney Tesla. I'm going to hold on to them too, but I do have SCHD, Stage, CRF, Nike, and VICI. Nike, yeah, I think Nike took a dip, so there might be a good entry price to get to Nike stocks for those that are interested in Nike. All right, Love Your Life says, just a bit of history. Oh yeah, I remember now. Just a bit of history. Memorial Day origins are rooted in African American communities after the Civil War. In May of 1865, nearly freed black people in Charleston, South Carolina, organized a ceremony and parade to honor and rebury Union soldiers buried in a massive grave, making what many consider the first Memorial Day observance. Waiting for this to drip, waiting for this to drip to stack me up on Plady and Misty. I'm gonna get them big share numbers soon or later. And I said, and someone else brought that to my attention about Memorial Day because I think I had said Happy Memorial Day, and Memorial Day isn't a happy day, as they stated. And I stand corrected on that. It's a day of mourning or honoring our service people. It's not a happy day because people lost their lives fighting for our freedom. Gary said it's yeah, here he is right here. Gary said it's not a happy Memorial Day. It's a day that we remember those who are falling, but it's not happy. And I said, Gary, you're absolutely right. So my apologies to anyone, to everyone. All right, so let's hit this. All right, Miss Robinson said, my monthly budget is $150 per month for stocks and ETF by using cash. I says, if that's the monthly budget, then we must stick to it. We all run our race at different paces. Keep up the great work. And then she made another post, said, here, I got paid $5.94 for 8 shares of my Coney. That is great. She says, now I need to get 100 shares of Coney, YMAG, YMAX, YMAG, Platy, OT, and Misty, and let them drip. Hopefully, this will help me pay for my cruise ship to Japan. I can't wait. That is a great strategy, Miss Robinson, um, and that's why I get these dividends because I want to use it to be able to do things with it. Primary, pay debt. Secondly, retire off of and use as passive income. Help those that are less fortunate, family, people in the community, financial literacy with that. I said, I like it. I like it. I like this. Congratulations on getting your distribution from Coney. And it's very possible getting 100 shares, and all of these will get you there. Let's go. I think you can do it, Miss Robinson. Stick with it. Um, 811 said, 8111 said, I am just getting started. Which YieldMax are you fully in? So I listed all the ones that I'm in. I said my biggest positions are those. He says, thank you for the response. Um, this individual said, oh, I think I did have this translated. I can't remember what it said, but I replied and said it can be some some do make a recovery like Plady and I still call this Kavana or Calvi or something like that. I put 20 into Misty, and next then it pays it out closing. When it pays out, I'll closing having my total return. I'm close to having my total return. All right, Love Your Life says, I try to stay on top of your videos, but I missed this one. Was looking for $2.68 for Cavi and got slapped with a smile when I saw this month paying $4.56. I tell you, when YieldMax does put and calls and it goes all well, it's a money machine. I said, yes, I was surprised. Uh, and I only have 6 shares, but I like it all in all. All right. Assassin said, do you think for a beginner it would be worth it if I put money in fiat since it's pretty cheap, or will fiat not make a comeback? Now, fiat is an inverse ETF. If you're not familiar with inverse ETF, kindly stay away from it. It does the opposite of coin. If coin goes up, fiat goes down. If coin goes down, and fiat goes up. Autopilot investor says, I can't wait to see what Misty does since BTC hit all time high again. Now, obviously, these are 11 days old and things have passed, but I said I'm not expecting Misty to pay more than $2.37 like it did the last time. I think it'll be less than $2.37. So we all do know that it paid $1.47. So he says I bought it pretty late, around $23 in my Roth account. Um, BTC is here to stay, and it will only go up in the future. Misty has been doing pretty good, solid, but we will see how they do overall when they don't have a bull run. And I said, those are facts. The bull run, facts, going down, crypto winner. Tommy said, excellent content. Thanks so much. Appreciate the love, Tommy. Excuse me. I said, I appreciate that, man. Hopefully I can keep it up. Stay tuned. LaShonda, LaShonda, LaShander Jones says, I've got 175 shares of CVNY at $34 average share. Let's see where it's at right now, you all. See, because that's been almost 13 days. She said she got it at 34. Ooh, she's up. That's at 45. She said, I got it. Where was that at? She said she got in at 34. So she's up probably about 10% in her position. She up 45. Man, that's nice. Oh, I ain't never replied back to her video. Man, my bad. All right. Brent says, good distribution announcement Wednesday. Crazy payout for a few of these. If you're wondering why Max is paying the bills, the ETFs are game changers. I say, yes, sir. Kavana, Robinhood, I got my eye on them. They making some money. And I said, all the others, anytime I can get a distribution over $1, I'm pretty good. I would like to see Coney get back up to the $15 to $30 range so it can start paying out maybe like $1.30 to $1.50. Especially, when I got them 8,000 shares, but that's gonna look good. Alan said, love Coney. Why Max increase? I bought more both yesterday and today. I said, yes, sir. Increase are always welcome. Help that total return number. All right. See the charts. I think we're here. All right. This individual, nice funny face right there. He says, keep going, keep grinding. I said, thank you, sir. We're trying over here. Hope everyone is grinding as well. Let's get all this money. Launch Express says, do you drip or take profit? This was 10 days ago. I said I take income to pay down the margin borrowed, and if I need withdrawal of money, and if I need to make a withdrawal of money to my bank account or buy the dip on something I want to purchase. Not sure what I was trying to say there. 911 investing says, has the dividend equal the loss of share price when they issue the dividends? How has this equal out? At the time I said not yet. I got in around 66 currently today, and at the moment $62, but I believe it will. It has pretty much recovered most of the term. I mean, most of the time, because right now I think it was at 64 when we checked earlier. So yeah. So it had gotten up to $70. It paid out a dividend, went down to 60, 61. It played around with 61, 62. Now it's at 64, fits to be 65. So yeah, I think it does pretty good. Trooper said, I'm dropping 20K on Misty. Should I wait until June the 3rd to buy or just start now? So this was 13 days ago. What did I say? I said I would buy some now while it's at the $21 range and buy some later if it dips. June the 5th will probably be another good time to buy when the price drops after they pay out the distribution. I said set limit order to buy 20K at different price instead of going all in at once with the 20K. Just my opinion, not financial advice. My head is hurting you all. It's late. Let's see here. Chambers. Oh, this is. I don't guess I've seen this because I haven't replied. All right. Well, let's read to see what we got here. Chambers is says, are you using dividend reinvestment program or do you keep your dividends separated? Which I can't believe I didn't see this. Which would be the buying power amount? I am guessing. I'm starting a dividend strategy to test out some of heavy use of Nvidia, Misty, OT, and likely some Murny, Coney, and Tesla in a smaller amount. All right, so let's see. Which are you buying? Oh, which would be the buying power amount? I am guessing. I'm not understanding quite. It says, are you using the drip or do you keep your dividends separated? Okay, so it depends. I don't set it for I don't other than XPay because it's a small position. If it's under 10 shares, I may put on the drip, but I primary don't. So like Robinhood is going to buy it on Monday for me. It may go back up or and be high above my average cost. I like to buy it at my. I like to take the dividends and buy back at the lowest price possible. When I see an opportunity, I strike. And if not, I just let it go back towards the margin. But because of the way because of the debt and everything, I don't have a certain way I do it. But I do know that I do the drip manually myself, and rather than let Robinhood do it. All right, it says part of it also includes buying in 100 or 120 share block and selling pretty safe. Oh, we're talking about cover calls. All right. Let's see here. Alongside some individual shares in companies I like both small and large cap. Okay. Any suggestions, advice, etc.? I came across this while researching real world experiences. Yeah, mine is definitely a real world experience. Excuse me. He said, I was thinking about having a broad range of YieldMax funds for more diversity, I guess, but then in the back of my mind, I keep thinking just go all in on Misty, Nvidia, and Platy, and maybe something like Ulti since it covers more stocks versus just a single. That is true about Ulti. It says I'll probably drop 20K to start and use the drip full for 3 months and all for 3 months and review my position and have a good understanding of all the details and if I want to drip or take the divs and buy more actual stocks or like VOO, SCHID, etc. Sorry for the long-winded post. Thank you. Oh, so if I understood, I don't want to keep just going over this again. Um, me personally, if I had 20K, yeah, I would put some in Misty, Plady, Maro, Maro. I would go with CVNY. I would go with Robinhood, the Hui, HOOY. Um, what else? SM, SMCY. Those are the ones I would go in. I'm being a risk taker, you all. I'm not trying to be conservative. That's just me. Um, and once I get my debt paid and get more stabilized, yes, I will put more in some more stable stocks positions like Palantir. I got here. I consider that to be a stable, help stabilize my portfolio. I don't know if I answered your question because I didn't quite understand all of it. My apologies. Um, Martin says, "Congrats on the portfolio recovery. Those Palantir and Palantir were awesome buys, even with Palantir taking a huge earnings. Yes, it was." Brent says, "Love to hear it." I said, "Yes, getting $1,400 off 200 shares at 704, not bad at all." Yes, that was great on Palantir. Uh, he said that's a win in the charts for Palantir. I have 10 shares, and that $7 is nice. I said, yes, $7 is crazy. Let's continue to get it. He said 10 shares are purchased at the current rate. All right. He said 10 shares are purchased at the current rate on May the 26th at 62.20 or 622 for 10 shares. At last month's payout would have yielded $740 in dividends. Was he asking me a question? All right. 10 shares are purchased at the current rate, May the 27th. At this time, it's $62.20. Or, yes, I mean, if he asked me when did I purchase those shares, yes, I purchased around, no, mine's is at what, 66 and 115. So I guess he's making a statement. I'm lost here, y'all. Not saying you're not. My head is hurting and it's late, so I'm just trying to get through there. He says, "Son, that is one impressive monthly dividend." Thank you, sir. I said, "Yes, sir. $7.04 is very, very impressive." I read in one of the Yahoo chats, one guy said he had 5,000 shares of Platy. That is $35,000. That's a crazy amount. James says, "Oh Lord, he played it nice." I said, "Yes, sir." All right, let's hit this one. We almost wrapping this up. All right, so basketball kid MC. He said, "Do you set aside money for taxes or just keep reinvesting?" I said, "Right now, about 90% of it's going back to pay down the margin, and I'll probably use 10% to nibble. but I will probably start making withdrawals here in a couple of weeks or by the first of the next month. What do I mean by withdrawals? Withdraw money from a Robinhood account and deposit into my bank account and using it to pay down debt. And I said, oh, the part about taxes, right now I haven't set aside any, and I probably should, but I haven't. Watch these clips says, so in order to get the dividends, you just buy the YieldMax stocks, and that's it. School said, yes. And I said, yes, that's pretty much it. Find something that you like, that you're interested in, and follow it and buy it. And in a week, depending on which ones you get, or a month, you'll get paid. Money Junior says, keep up the great work, boss. I said, thank you. I'm trying, sir. Let's stay tuned and see where this takes us. Lynn says, so it looks like the price of the ETF dropped more than $1 on dividend payout day. Presumably you held the ETF, which I did that day, and when that would have been over a $8,000 loss. Yes, if it pays over $1, yes, it would have been over $8,000 loss. But you gain 5,800 in dividend. So is that a loss? This gentleman said, "Scared money don't make no money." I said it will probably be considered a loss for that month if the ETF doesn't recover. I personally don't consider it a loss because I'm looking at total return. And I said, those are total facts. I'm replying to him. A coworker told me once a few years ago, scared money don't make no money, and no risk, no reward. All right. Henderson says, do you drip your dividends? So what I've learned from the DRIP, which is the dividend reinvestment program, is that the brokerage would either buy too high or at a price I would not like. So what I would do is I would hold it until it comes to a price I like and want to buy it. Then I will make a purchase. Excuse me. Because I can always buy it at a lower price than if it then on the buying it on then using the drip. But currently I'm not dripping, but probably only about 10% because now I'm using about 90% to pay down margin. With these high yield ETFs, the only way to use drip is I would use drip is in a small position that probably consists of less than 20 shares, and I would only use that probably in something that I don't have to monitor or keep my eye on, like VOO or SPY, slow moving ETFs. Um, this individual said, great video. I have around 20 shares of Misty and MSTX and a few of Coney. Does anyone know how is MSTX? I do know that I saw that it's a 2x leverage position, and I try to stay away from those. I did see that I think it paid out $14.43 in dividends. That was nice. Um, Roger says, what's the goal with Coney, man? What's the goal with Coney? How many shares are you aiming for? Love the video. Keep them coming. I said short term, not to purchase any more. Maybe. Long term, 10,000 shares. If it ever reaches $30, I sell half for profit. I currently have 8,000 shares. So yeah, I would like to get 10,000 shares. And my average cost is 11.86. If I could get it down under 11, between 10 and $11, and then I have 10,000 shares. Coney goes to 20 or $30. If it ever makes that, I could literally sell half that for profit. So that's one caveat. But if it doesn't do that and it's still paying a consistent dividend, then we'll just do that and ride with it. The only says, how sustainable do you think it is? If we are to go into a recession, then it's more likely over, right? I said these are fairly new high yield ETF by YieldMax, Round Hill, and Curve and Rec shares. So we haven't been through that phase of a true recession. With these, I'm not sure how they would go. Um, this individual says so basically you can pay off 52K in a year. Um, I said snowball analysis projected I'm going to make over 100,000. So we'll see. Ricardo says, could you live off Coney dividends? Um, I'm not sure if he's going, oh my God, or what. I said, I guess that's one way of looking at it. You would have to factor in a lot of other things. I wouldn't try that now until I've got enough money saved up before I would attempt trying to live off these dividends. Um, I said I'm down 32,000 on Coney. It's not good. Got to figure out the NAV erosion. Oh, oh yeah, yeah. I think he was telling me, yeah, I'm down 32. I was down 32. Not good. Yep. Got to figure that out. They got something coming. Hope it works. All right. I think that's all the shorts, right? Did we get all of them? Yep. So we're almost done. And it's late. This is gonna be the latest I posted video. All right. Post. All right, let's see here. Wow, we did a few posts. Wow. Jeez. All right. All right. Absolute says, I'm surprised Kona didn't pay more as the price appreciation in Coinbase stock was high this past month. Um, let's see here. Mike Lopez says, what is Misty payout? I gave him the dates. This individual said, all ETFs, I have one each, but Coney, I have 3,000. I said, yes, nice, let's get it. Maurice, been good with Plady and Cavi. I'm gonna call it Cavi, I guess. And I was like giving them thumbs up. I'm sort of just skimmed through these, y'all. If y'all don't mind, it's very late. And I'm supposed to be over there fixing something for my mom tomorrow. Um, I'm just gonna scroll through these, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna scroll. Sorry, people. If you're watching it, these are the questions and these are the comments, response. But it's getting late. I'm gonna call it quits here in just a second. All right, so let's hit this one. All right. I'm gonna scroll through a little slow so you all can look. You can pause the video. Oh, this was the same one. Okay. Christian, he said, can I have a dividend? I'm just gonna scroll through for y'all. All right. And the last one. All right. That's going to conclude our video for week 39 and week 40. I look forward to getting more videos out this coming week because I think it's going to be Tesla Group A. Get that out Wednesday morning for you all, and we'll get back in the swing of things. All right, I'm out. This is YieldMaxMindset. Have a blessed day. God bless you all.